competition is set to get underway, and surely it is the most important and most anticipated bout in Olympic wrestling history. This man, Alexander Karelin, wants to set Olympic history. He wants to be the first four-time Olympic champion in this sport. He's already been the first three-time Olympic champion. If Rulon Gardner could beat this man, how much of an upset would it be, Jeff?
If Gardner the American were to win this match, it would be akin to the 1980 U.S. hockey team's win over the Soviets. It would be that unexpected, Russ. If the hockey team's victory over the Soviets was called the miracle on the ice, then Gardner's victory would be called the miracle on the mat.
Well, time is running down. There's only 2 seconds to go. That's it! Oh, my! Do you believe in miracles again?
Hey, welcome. It's Wednesday, a little bit after 7 Eastern Time, PM, of course. You're on the Fighter Shit Report. We got the Badger live in full effect, and I'm Brew. What's going on, Badger?
Man, I can't call it, man. It's been a real Florida day out there today, man. It's been pretty hot, so this is gonna give me some cool down and some therapy, man. So I'm ready to get to it.
Listen, this is one of them days that, you know, you can counteract that whole thing about Arizona when they say it's not the heat, it's the humidity. It's been hot and humid here today in Florida. It's ridiculous. And I'm not even on a bump Florida kick. I'm just saying it's ridiculous. I had my daughter who's 4.5 and my niece who's 2, and they just stepped outside and the 2-year-old said, "It's too hot. It's too hot." I'm like, "You're 2. What do you know about heat?" They usually want to go out and play. They didn't want to go out and play today.
These kids know better, man. I never understood people from Arizona saying that it was humid, because I always thought in the desert that you didn't get humidity.
Though they say the difference between Arizona and Florida is Arizona, it might be hotter, but they don't have the humidity.
Yeah, and you know, not to get stuck on forecasting and temperature and stuff. This is only the second day of summer, so we're just getting started here. But I will tell you this: I played a game at TCU, and at kickoff it was 107 degrees. It was the coolest 107 degrees I've ever felt, because yes, the sun was hot, it was burning, it was biting you, but you could sweat, and you could breathe. It didn't feel stuffy at all. So I'll take that any day versus this humidity that we got here.
Listen. I when I went to Lee's McRae, which is up in the mountains in North Carolina, you don't think it would get hot in the mountains, but when you're out trying to run with equipment on, and it's like 85, and you're like, okay, it's only 85 degrees, but there's no air. It's like your lungs are just scrambling for anything because the air is so thin. I guess everybody has their issues, but look, speaking of issues, on my grind, what we talking about this week? Bam, top ranked shows, bro. I'm gonna let you kick this one off because I'm in a kind of a silly mood, and
No, it's cool, brother. Top rank. I made fun of them like the last week or so. They guys keep getting beat down, man. I'm trying to figure out if they actually really trying to call the herd over there at Top Rank or what they doing. We got to get Carmen ready on the show if somebody's doing these matchmaking. I mean, look, it's great for the sport. Like I said, this is cool. Like, I have no problem with this. we want to see it on a higher level with the bigger name guys because there's always going to be more interesting fights that we know are 60-40 or to surprise 50-50 fights. But a lot of people on social media were saying that Andrew Maloney was going to get a good run from this kid Joshua Franco. Didn't know if anybody outside of Joshua Franco's stable thought he would win that fight. He went in there and he made it look easy. He pretty much cruised to victory while damaging Maloney pretty bad. Busted both his eardrums. He had to actually get transported to the hospital after the fight, and prayers were answered. He's okay. But yeah, two perforated eardrums in a one-sided fight. And shouts out to RGBA. You know who that is, right? Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. This is his 13th champion.
Yes.
Man, listen, maybe Robert gets enough kudos. Maybe we just don't really care to hear it because he's won trainer of the year and his brother's always there. All these different guys, Jose Ramirez, all these guys are always there, right? But he just keeps churning them out, man. So yeah, Maloney was on the losing end last night. He lost his WBA regular strap, so that's going over to Joshua Franco now. So congratulations to those guys. But tonight, his brother, Jason Maloney, steps in the ring against Leonardo Baez. So hopefully he can redeem the loss for his brother and hopefully make it back to Australia safely with his regional belt.
Well, the regional belt isn't up for grabs, is it?
I thought it was, but it may not be. I could be off.
Listen, what got me was Joe Tessitore kind of called it. If you go back to when they were leading up to the fight, Joe Tessitore kind of called the possible upset.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that. I didn't see that because I missed the telecast, so I didn't see that. But yeah, I mean, apparently everybody knew who this kid Joshua Franco was. And I guess maybe Maloney and his team did, and they just weren't ready. I don't know. But he came in there and stole the show and got that belt.
I can tell you in the beginning, Maloney was really, he was getting the shots in, but when you started really looking, he wasn't necessarily getting his shots in. Franco was getting his timing and his distance and picking a lot of them off with the gloves. And I knew, man, if we hadn't had the beat down that Tuesday night, I'd have stayed right in front of that TV because it looked like it was going to be a boxing lesson.
Wow.
That's what it looked like. I'm going to tell you.
It's a long flight home from Las Vegas to Australia. So
without your title.
Yeah, for him and his brother. It's going to be a long flight back. But like I said, it can be eased a little bit if Brother Jason wins tonight. But I guess.
No, it's tomorrow.
I'm tripping. Today is Wednesday. I'm so sorry. Tomorrow, Jason can redeem himself with a victory for him and his brother. If not, it's going to be a long flight back down under. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah. And there is no soothing that. I mean, even if your brother wins, yay, but you left Australia with a strap and you're coming home without one. There's really not a lot of soothing in that.
No. But it can be worse if y'all both get y'all ass kicked. So
not really. It's better for the guy who lost first. Because then he won't have to hear about, I won this for you, dog. I'm just being honest.
I think he want to see his brother win.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I feel you.
But, if you and I were on the same card and you won after I got beat and they took my title, I'm going to be happy for you. But I ain't going to want to hear you say the whole way, bro, at least one of us won. Because it wasn't me.
No, I don't think they say that. I mean, we can ask the Charlos, right?
Ooh.
They both had tough fights 2 years ago. Younger Charlo lost his strap. The bigger Charlo was able to keep his in a very controversial decision. And they turned out fine. So, I don't know, man. We just talking about it. But, hopefully Maloney can do something with Baez tomorrow. But if not, boy.
It is what it is. All right. Boom. Why did I have? All right. My bad. Sometimes even the best of intentions. Meanwhile, TB12 versus COVID-19. I know we were supposed to say Tom Brady, but I thought with the numbers and the letters, that would work. TB12 versus COVID-19. What you got, bro? Because I was interested when you said you wanted to put this on there.
I mean, It just kind of fits the narrative, brother. I don't know how much you know of what you saw, but yeah, Tom Brady is holding workouts with some of
Mm-hmm.
his teammates
Mm-hmm.
over at old Berkeley Prep, and
Mm-hmm.
the NFL is like, "Hey, what are you doing? We've given direct orders for you guys not to be participating in any type of workouts right now, especially in quotation marks and my air quotes, you knuckleheads down in Florida,
Right.
especially in Tampa, where you guys have seen a surge in cases.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know the rules don't apply to TB12.
Well, watch if some of them come up sick. Let's see how quickly the rules change. Maybe he's not practicing with the starters. Maybe he's practicing with like the third string.
Nah, man, nah. A few of those guys out there were starters. I know Chris Godwin was there. Sean Murphy Bunting, who I think is a nickelback, he gets a lot of playing time. Another defensive back that gets a lot of playing time. These guys are legitimate players.
And they should have common sense.
And keep this in mind, ain't no scrubs on the NFL roster. You got 55 guys, man. Everybody at some point has opportunity to play. Even if you're a second stringer, at some point somebody's gonna get tired or hurt, and you got to fill in. So whether you're the starter or the backup, man, you don't really want to be playing around with this kind of stuff.
No.
But I'm interested, and I need to hear you expound on the narrative that's going to be placed on this, because what are we witnessing right now?
In what capacity?
I mean, just with Tom Brady and what he's doing. Do you think that we're perceiving this as a problem, or is this Tom Brady in his quest to be great?
I think it's Tom Brady in his quest to hold on to what he think he still has. But I also think it's gonna be interesting how the NFL really looks at this, because this is Bucks ownership relaxing the rules for their star in a situation where you can infect the entire team. So I personally think it's selfish. When no one else is allowed to do this openly, but you are. Now, I don't know who's getting together privately working out that, but realistically, when you're openly holding workouts in Bucks gear, so you had to get the equipment from somebody, right? I mean, I know some NFL players, not a lot of them have all their equipment at home. They usually don't bring their shoulder pads home. They usually don't bring, you know what I'm saying? It's a situation where you can point the finger at Tom Brady, but you got to point the finger up the chain at Bruce Arians, at the equipment manager, at the general manager, at the owners. You got to really point the finger and put blame where it belongs. It's not just with Tom Brady, although at 42 years old, he should have enough common sense to say, all right, there's a spike in COVID in this area because they were stupid enough to open up the beaches and the bars, and people were dumb enough to go, and then pass it on. At least have enough common sense and common decency to say, I'm just going to have to get one of those ball machines. I can't really work out with my team at this point. I'm going to have to trust the process. And he's never had to really rely on trusting the process ever since he became TB12. He's pretty much gotten his way, and getting his way this time may lead in a lot of infected Buccaneer players and staff.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think a couple of players have already tested positive. Let's put a button on this. I think that the rules have never really applied to stars in any sport. I think with Tom Brady in this case, you're absolutely correct. They made a comparison, obviously, and I don't agree with it, but they made a comparison between him and Joe Montana in the sense that Joe Montana spent his last 2 years after that successful run in San Fran, where he led the Chiefs to an AFC championship. I think he won something like 17-8 in his last 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady's legacy is already defined, but I think he wants to go out on a high note. I don't like this because this is, again, me bucking the rules, me doing it my way. But at the end of the day, I'm sure a lot of players are doing the same thing. They're not going to get the publicity that Tom Brady's getting, so you're not going to have helicopters chasing you around and paparazzi following you. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't like it. But if you're a Buccaneer fan, I guess you're kind of happy to see this and just hopes that your guys really don't get sick. You still got a little time, but This ain't the move, man.
You're happy to see it until somebody gets sick enough and dies, or somebody ends up in the hospital for a long period of time, or TB12 misses the season and still gets paid because he has COVID. I mean, it is what it is, bro. I know superstars get treatment on every team. I think the only one that still had to adhere to the rules was Muhammad Ali, but you know, it is what it is. Whether you consider yourself a superstar or not, you have to have some semblance of reality of what's going on around you. And whether you have a testing kit at your house, you spent what 50 grand on a machine that gives you your results right back, still you need to be conscious of other people and their families if you're not conscious of your family. I ain't gonna go no more on that, bro. Oh, I like this. Yeah, I said it. NASCAR. Now I know Bubba Wallace is your cousin, but I'm interested to see which, because you kind of look a little bit like him with the hat on and the like you're in pit row, bro.
Yeah, I think the headphones.
Yeah, yeah. So you know where I'm going with this. So expound, my friend.
I think this is all good for NASCAR, right? Because what we do know is that NASCAR is probably the last major sport. You know, I guess NASCAR makes the cut, right? They're a major sport. And they've kind of been stuck in their old ways. They haven't changed a lot from the 1940s, the 50s, the 60s, and on up. The cars have gotten better, but NASCAR as a whole kind of just rode this wave of traditionalism into the modern into now. They needed a shakeup, and this is what the organization needed. NASCAR is going to come out cleaner on this because they're going to, in some semblance, appear to be progressive. They're really not going to lose their hardcore fans because their hardcore fans don't watch anything other than NASCAR. It's not like they're going to migrate to football. Ooh, we can't do that. The darkies taking over there. We're not going to migrate to the NBA because we've been left that alone. Baseball is just probably not as interesting as some of them.
There's bowling and cornhole.
So they're going to stick by their sport. They're just angry right now. They're going to resist for a little bit, but they'll get on board with it, and they'll just fly their rebel flags proudly as they leave the super speedway. As for Bubba Wallace, he just got to win races now. This is going to put more of an X on his back. If he already wasn't a target, if he already wasn't the lone dark spot in the sport, and I mean that figuratively just by the complexion of his skin, then he's going to have to be productive now. Because he's probably going to get some big-time sponsors. He's probably going to be able to, and mind you, NASCAR isn't quite as bad as Formula One, where there seems to be a dip in the hierarchy of success based on how much money your team has. NASCAR does a pretty good job of every team is, they all pretty much kind of on the same level, the way they do their testing and all that kind of stuff. So we need Bubba Wallace to win some races, at least some top 10s, man, because if not, all this is for nothing.
I agree with you. I just, wow, it's going to get worse before it gets better. They may have been able to write the noose off as, oh, it was already in the garage, but it was still a noose. I believe Bubba realizes that he may have bitten off more than he can chew and more than they can protect him in certain situations because, you gotta, when you go home and you go out and he is comfortable going out and hanging out at places where race fans go. And this is what I've been thinking about from the beginning when he stood up and said this. I'm like, dude, okay, you should have had somebody else stand up and say it and then you reply. But when it seems like you're leading the charge for the Confederate flag to be removed, now you've made yourself public enemy number one to a lot of people who, like we said on the beatdown every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m., a lot of people fly that flag with more pride than they fly the American flag. They don't wear the American flag. They wear the Confederate flag. You don't hear him speaking out about the American flag, but you always hear him speaking out about the Confederate flag. So hopefully you took all this into consideration before you decided to allow NASCAR to make you a target.
Yeah, and remember, Bubba's got to keep his same lifestyle, man. It's not like he's going to show up at the next BET Awards, right?
Right.
Bubba is going to be Bubba, and these are the people that he's kind of grown up with and the kind of people that he's comfortable around. So
right, this
is going to be awkward for you moving forward now, because now, a lot of your friends, they feel a certain type of way about this, whether they feel like it's a personal attack on their heritage or just the sport.
Right.
A lot of these guys are afraid that if the sport starts losing money, then you've kind of brought in that Trojan horse. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Good luck, Bubba. All right. Well, you know what time it is. Hashtag CBM. I didn't pick this one, folks. I didn't pick this one. This was my partner, or somebody sent it to him. But I think this is a good one. Let's see which one got chosen. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
I think a fight's about to happen. And it's over.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You can hear that. You can hear that crack, bro.
Okay. Shit. Okay. Wow. So my man, the backpack, he got ice cold water in his veins, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point, most people panic. Most people probably rush and charge. But listen, hold on. Now, let's unpack this. So his technique isn't very good, right?
Well,
so like kid from House Party, right? He was getting beat up in the cafeteria. He's like, your Shaolin technique is very good. Here, he pulls back, which is a no-no.
But
in boxing,
but he also bended the knees.
But his competition, his nemesis, was not aware what happened. And this frame is beautiful, bro. I told you got a future in this, man. For somebody that can't see, you got a knack for this kind of stuff, right?
Really? Go ahead,
but the sweeping right hand that completely missed, hand down, man down, right?
Mm-hmm.
No hands up, but in the black, my homie in the gray pulls back and steps forward, and wow, the rest is history. Boom! And this is the thing. That was a left. He didn't come back with the straight right. It was almost like an inverted hook, and it was kind of quick. Wasn't short, but he threw it instinctively. And man, look at that. He's relaxed. He's counting sheep right now.
Yeah, he's relaxed at this point.
Yeah, he's thinking about whatever he was gonna get when he got in the house to eat. He probably floating right now. Oh, and that's it. Look at that reaction right there. Wow, man. Can we get it paused with him on the ground just for a second? And the wind up. See, this is not baseball, people.
No.
It is a fight. This is what you call the stretch, right? If you're a pitcher, this is the stretch. And this is why he got stretched, right? Because of this. Boom.
Look at that hook. Look at that hook came around.
And listen, this is the thing. He threw that with his arm.
Yeah.
First of all,
no.
Blood in the Black doesn't have a chin.
No.
Imagine if he threw this with the proper foundation.
Look though, what I'm trying to say is he bent at the knees. Even though he pulled back slightly, he was bending at the knees. So when he extended through that hook, he pulled his hip through. He threw that hook with proper technique. He may have pulled back, but when he pulled back, he was bending at his knees. So when he pulled through with that hook, look at that. It's like throwing a discus or a shot put. Your finish was proper.
Yeah, I mean, you can give him an A for that. I would like to really see where his feet is on this. I don't
Yeah.
think he's got the best balance, but either way,
But he's got his right hand up too.
he threw a home run. He saw the softball pitch. And he knocked it out the park. So kudos for that. And here at this point, see now when you get stretched, that's what we call getting stretched where I'm from. And
Yeah.
man,
He needed to throw a pillow on him. Shout out to Joshua Greer.
yeah, and a blanket, man. And
He went night.
and check to make sure you ain't piss on himself. Because when you get short circuited like that, man, all those faculties tend to let go. We've seen MMA guys take a dump on themselves in fights when they get stretched. And,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why they encourage you. That's why they encourage you to go right before the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't go during the fight.
Yeah.
But he's gone. He gone. He got knocked smooth out.
That was beautiful. Kudos to this young man.
Yeah. I gotta hand it to him. He did a wonderful job. I'd like to find out who he is because he did a wonderful job.
And just let everybody know, we don't condone violence on this show. We just like a good scrap. That's all. Just a good scrap.
Yeah. He said we don't condone violence. Combat sports show, but we don't condone violence.
It's a sport. It's an
Not
art.
at all. Right.
Yeah.
Bro, thank you. That was a good CBM. That was a really good CBM.
Nah, you 2 for 2, bro. You picked it, so kudos to you. I told you, man, you on the streak right now. Let's keep this streak going, man.
I kind of wish we had waited to do the one we did on Tuesday night, on Monday night for the day.
That's okay. Listen, we get inundated with these videos in our inbox and our DMs all the time, so we're going to always have some good ones, so y'all just keep them coming.
That was good. Hey, I know we're getting out of here. Shout out to even though they seem to be getting a lot of criticism for some reason, shout out to these first responders who are still braving the dangers of the streets, of the crowds, but they're still getting out trying to save lives. I want to make sure I give a shout out to them. They didn't know exactly what they were signing up for because this wasn't even around. All this stuff wasn't even around when a lot of them went into the academies or went into schooling. But they've braved it, they've toughed it out, and they're still out there on the front line saving lives. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my wife, my daughter, my mom, my dad. I know there's another. Dog it. All right, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody out there that's in the struggle, man. Shout out to all my entrepreneurs out there.
Yes.
Shout out to everybody that's struggling. Your blessing is coming in some form or fashion. Shout out to everybody that's checking us out, man. Make sure y'all catch us on the Beatdown every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this show right here, the Friday Show Report, every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m., man. Big ups to all my fighters out there. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in and supporting us. And we're going to be around. We're going to keep doing our thing. And Fighter Show Nation, we out here. Peace.